Good afternoon and welcome to Wholesome Roots. Today I am going to share with you how I use my lion's mane mushroom that I grew myself from a mushroom block from Sharondale Farms that I purchased at the Homestead of America's conference. I am also going to pair that with a wonderful pasta from a really great YouTuber that has branched out into a new business of making their own artisan pasta. So my friend Part-Time Permies has started a new business called West Michigan Provisions LLC, and they are making some amazing pastas. These are incredible. I've had some already that have been amazing. This is a nice long noodle that I think is going to go great with our recipe tonight.
Is that one big noodle, Mama?
So, yep, there it is. That's their logo. And this is some of the contact information if you're interested in reaching out to them. This right here is the lion's mane mushroom that we grew. So all we did was we took this bag and we punctured some holes in it that gave them space to come out and grow. And they started out with these little tiny fruits and they would grow bigger. And as they grew, I took one off right here for a friend of ours that has a daughter with cancer. So we're sharing that with them. And you see the teeth hanging down? So that's what we were waiting for, is these teeth to elongate. And it started to turn a little bit brownish on top. So really this probably could have harvested yesterday, but we were waiting for the real obvious sign of dropping its spores all over, and that happened last night. So we're pretty excited to cut this off and use it in our dinner tonight. We're going to combine that with some garlic and onion. The garlic is actually from Family Homestead. If you follow them on YouTube, they gave me some garlic at the conference as well. So this is my conference bounty harvest dinner. Ryan's over here working on one of our side dishes. He's gonna make it the star of the show. What he's gonna do, he's gonna upstage me.
No.
This is our homegrown organic okra that he is dredging in buttermilk and duck eggs and some cornmeal and flour. The cornmeal is from a local farm, and he is frying it for some delicious fried okra, and that's gonna go great with our meal, isn't it?
I think so.
So the first step is to remove the mushroom from the block. At first I thought I was going to cut it off, but then what I was reading is it's better to just grab a hold of it and break it away. Ta-da! You see the little spot that was holding on in the center there? That was the only piece that was attached to the block. It has a tiny hole for that to come out. So there's another one starting there. This mushroom block is from Sharondale Mushroom Farms in Virginia, and it will fruit again. So I am going to go ahead and remove all of the fruit and use it for this meal. Even this little one that's really not mature, and I should just leave it, but I want to encourage the block to refruit again. That one actually looks really young, so I think that just popped up underneath. We keep it with a little bit of water in there so that the humidity stays at 100% pretty much around the block. The block inside is also wet. So this mushroom block will fruit again in about a week or two, and we will have another spawn of mushrooms to harvest from it. And it'll do that for about 3 or 4 times at least. Alright, so this is pretty straightforward. I'm just going to cut it up as I would any regular type of mushroom. Nothing special to it. Except for my knife not going in because I'm trying to hold a camera. And now I summon my third arm. Oh. It's very spongy in texture. I like it. It's just like a mushroom. Mushroom with teeth. But soft teeth. They're like pillowy soft. It's so cool. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this up and then Try to keep my third arm from eating my mushrooms. Dap.
Mom, you're supposed to say num num day.
Not bad for a huge pile of homegrown lion's mane mushroom. Oh, I can't wait. I'm gonna dice up some garlic and onion, and I'm gonna saute it in some butter, maybe a little bit of olive oil, but mainly butter. And then I'm gonna add some buttermilk to it and some salt and pepper, and that is gonna be my delicious sauce to serve over my amazing West Michigan pasta and provisions pasta. This onion is strong. My eyes are burning and weeping. So I'm only going to use half. I don't want it to overtake the flavor of my mushrooms. I want them to be the star. But I'm going to go ahead and use a big old piece of garlic. Look at that garlic. Isn't it beautiful? Thank you, Sherry. Alright, I got my mise en place. And I'm going to heat up my cast iron skillet. This is an enameled cast iron. I'm going to heat it up to medium. And I'm going to put some butter in it and saute the onions first. Get them pretty much translucent. And then add the mushrooms. And when the mushrooms are almost translucent, I'm going to add the garlic. I don't like adding the garlic until the end because garlic tends to burn. I'm going to add a little salt and pepper. And then I'm going to add my buttermilk and call it a day. And it's going to be delicious. And then I am going to start my pasta to boil now. Alright, so if you're really talented, you get to make your dinner with a toddler on your shoulder because he's tired. He just woke up from his nap. And so I put a bunch of butter in there. I don't know, like 2 or 3 tablespoons of butter. I put my half an onion and I'm going to stir that in. And then I'm going to add these beautiful mushrooms. Look at that! You love it, don't you? Oh, gorgeous. So pretty. Meanwhile, I have my water coming to a boil with salt and oil in it. I have olive oil and sea salt in my water. And I'm just going to stir this in as it cooks. You see the mushrooms soak up a lot of butter right away. So that is why I use a lot of butter. Mushrooms and butter go so well together. And I may add some more butter or some olive oil, whichever you prefer. If you don't want too much of a buttery flavor. I don't know if there's such a thing, but I like to use both sometimes. Once I have the mushrooms pretty much done, I'm going to add my garlic. I don't like adding garlic until the very end because it can burn easily. Also, another thing that is important to note is I always add salt when I'm sauteing onions and mushrooms. Now, I don't use salted butter, I use unsalted butter. So if you have salted butter, that may be different. You may not have to. But if you don't add the salt, the mushrooms won't release as much liquid, giving you a nice juiciness to them. So if you add the salt while you're sauteing them, they're going to release their own juices into the butter and mixed in with the onion juices, and it's just going to really change your flavor profile quite a bit. So the salt is important from a mechanical standpoint as well as flavor. So I am sauteing that while the water comes to a boil, and then I will add my pasta and cook for 11 to 13 minutes. And let me tell you, it smells good in here. Oh my gosh, the smell of cooking onions alone can bring me to my knees. But you add in mushrooms, I melt. I melt. And now I'm about to add the garlic. I'm gonna melt even more. I love garlic. I love mushrooms. I love food. I can't wait to eat this. All right, my water has come to a boil, so I am gonna add my pasta. And I'm going to cook it till it's al dente. I'm going to set my timer for 11 minutes so I don't forget to check it. Ooh, this is gonna be good, y'all. Look at that beautiful pasta. Thank you so much for this wonderful, wonderful blessing. All right, my mushrooms are looking pretty much done. I'm gonna go ahead and add that garlic in now. Stir it in and just melt to the smells and aromas through my kitchen right now. Oh goodness, you guys, I wish you could be here in person. It's awesome. Oh, this is gonna be so good. All right, so I am experimenting today with this recipe. I know it's gonna taste good, but it might have a weird texture at first because I've never heated buttermilk before. So I'm hoping that it's going to turn out just right, just the way I'm thinking it will. So I'm going to make my sauce with this buttermilk. I'm just going to add it right to my mushrooms and onions. But first I'm going to add a little bit of the bone broth that I've been cooking in the Instant Pot because I want to add I just want a little bit more cooking time on those mushrooms with a little bit of liquid added. So a good liquid to add would be some type of chicken broth of some sort or a vegetable broth if you're a vegetarian. So I'm going to go ahead and add that liquid, cook it a little more, and start adding the buttermilk and see where the consistency takes us. And I think it's going to be absolutely delicious. I'm only going to add a little bit of salt and pepper as seasoning, and then at the end we can add fresh grated Parmesan and fresh chopped parsley, which I am out of right now, but that's what I would add. Another really good reason to do this chicken broth that I'm doing in the pan is because it's deglazing my pan. You see all that good mushroom and onion goodness that was at the bottom of the pan, all that flavor is getting brought back up into everything that I'm cooking. So you can use different liquids for that if you want to use beer or wine. Those work great as deglazers, but because I just happen to have this flavorful chicken broth, I'm going to use that. All right. You notice I'm not really measuring. I just want to definitely completely cover all of my mushrooms, but I definitely want them to be the star of the show tonight. And I think this is going to work just perfect to make a nice cream sauce to add as a nice topping to this wonderful pasta we're making. Oh man, this is going to be so good. What do you want? Oh, you're being camera shy. You won't do it again. Let's see. Whoa, do you want it? Is it good? Is it good? Do you like it? Is that the best pasta you've ever had? That good? I think we got a huge thumbs up from Liam. You love it. Oh boy, y'all. Yummy. I think I'm gonna eat pretty well tonight. I'm gonna add a couple of extra mushroom pieces right on top for Mama. Yum. Oh, this is gonna be so good. And I don't even care that it fell off my plate. I'm gonna eat that right now. So good. Everything came out delicious tonight. A big thank you to West Michigan Pasta Provisions. Go check them out. And a big thank you to Part-Time Permies because they're the ones who gifted us this pasta. I will leave a link to their YouTube channel. They're awesome. I love them. They do lots of great stuff with foraging, and I really felt like the lion's mane needed to be used with their pasta because they forage for mushrooms as well, just like we do. So foraging for lion's mane mushroom is something that lots of us foragers really enjoy doing. So it's the perfect recipe for their pasta. And a big thank you to Family Homestead for the garlic. So, like I said, it was a little bit of an experiment, and I was afraid that the buttermilk was going to curdle with the heat, and it did. But the flavor is spot on and perfect. Just because it doesn't look as attractive doesn't mean it doesn't taste as great. I'm sure that there's a way to do this. I know there must be, but not tonight. Tonight it's just going to be delicious and fill our bellies, and that is the most important part of creating a meal for your family. Tonight we have used local creamery buttermilk. We have used handmade artisan pasta from a friend of ours. We have used homegrown mushrooms. We've used homegrown garlic from a friend of ours, and homegrown okra, locally sourced cornmeal on the okra with the buttermilk that was locally sourced, and our own duck eggs. So really, all in all, this is the perfect meal. This is what makes me feel happy. When I get to make a meal that's either from my own backyard or a friend of mine's backyard, I feel really good about what I'm feeding my family. Oh, we're also gonna have some baked sweet potatoes with it as well, if I can get those cooked in time. Might have to do it in the microwave, tisk tisk. But sometimes you have to do what you have to do in a pinch to feed your family. So get out there, get creative. Don't be afraid to try new things. Lion's mane mushroom are not scary. They're wonderful and delicious, and they're full of nutrition, and they're also medicinal. They're medicinal in many ways. And I am hoping that I can share this medicinal mushroom with other people that are in my family and in my life that I love and adore. So I am hoping to get really good at growing it and experimenting with different ways to cook it. So please, I hope that you enjoyed. Please know that you can cook whatever you want, however you want to. If I've given you some tips tonight to help you in the future with some of your meal preparations, then I've done my part. Thank you for watching. You know the drill. We'll see you next time on Wholesome Roots. Remember, eat your veggies.